Okay, let's jump right in. 100 people stranded out in the wilderness, all competing for a staggering $250,000. But, this isn't just your standard survival show setup. In today's Explainer, we're really digging into the ultimate social experiment, one that split participants into two vastly different groups to test a pretty fundamental hypothesis about human endurance.
So, the core question is this: what actually wins? On one side, you've got a lifetime of hardcore roughing-it survival skills. And on the other, basically a blank check to buy any modern convenience you can think of. Which of those advantages actually holds up when the elements start closing in and that deep psychological toll of isolation hits? Section 1. The Ultimate Wilderness Experiment, Setting the Stage.
The rules were actually pretty simple. Just outlast the competition without lighting your flare to tap out. Now, let's look at the matchup. You have the blue team, 50 seasoned survival experts. But here's the catch. They had to pack completely blind. They had zero clue what the climate would be, so they had to prep for literally everything, from a sunny beach to a freezing Alaskan winter. Then you've got the red team, 50 complete amateurs. But they were handed a huge advantage, a pre-trip shopping spree to buy whatever they wanted. And what did they choose? Massive, incredibly heavy 24 packs of water, basic rope, and, believe it or not, literal children's play tents. Section 2. Shelter, Skill versus Shopping, Surviving the Elements.
Right off the bat, night falls, temperatures absolutely plummet, and those experts immediately fall back on what they know. A survivalist named Seth essentially ran a masterclass on building a debris shelter. And actually, scratch that, it's not just a pile of sticks. The crucial part is adding a foot-thick layer of leaves. That creates this vital insulation against the freezing ground and the incoming rain. It gave the blue team a massive, immediate advantage in both comfort and morale. So, while the experts actually managed to sleep pretty decently under that painstakingly built natural insulation, the amateurs, well, they were a bit overconfident. They really thought that store-bought advantage made them invincible. You even had them boasting, "Oh, they probably got tents. We got this." Instead of building smart, they just completely burned through their physical energy trying to construct these massive, sprawling, uninsulated forts. They were so sure of themselves they jokingly asked for a call the next time a survival experiment was hosted. But, as we'll see, that overconfidence had a pretty steep price. Because reality hits fast, right? The physical deterioration for both camps was incredibly rapid. Shockingly, though, the freezing conditions of day 1 caused the first 2 eliminations to actually come from the expert team. By day 4, severe hunger is just tearing through the amateurs. But day 8 is the real breaking point. A massive 5-hour non-stop rainstorm rolled through and completely flooded the amateurs' energy-draining fort. It acted as this brutal catalyst that sent multiple people packing all at once. Section 3. The Hunger Games, the Reality of Rationing. Once that initial shot of adrenaline wears off, what takes over? Hunger. Constant, gnawing hunger begins dictating literally every single decision out there. The red team severely lacked foresight. They basically treated their store-bought food like party snacks and completely destroyed their stash in just 2 days. The blue team, on the other hand, went right to work. They utilized expert foraging, built fish traps out of sticks, and relied on some serious cleverness. That expert, Seth, had actually hidden food caches all around the forest. Eventually, both teams realized they desperately needed community pantries to ration whatever they have left. But obviously, they were starting from 2 vastly different baselines. Section 4. Ego versus Community, the Fatal Flaw of the Expert. Now, here is where things get really fascinating. Despite their total lack of skills and that reckless initial snacking, the amateurs found a saving grace. It was a really simple mantra. We're sharing, we share here. They survived by banding together. They accepted the miserable conditions, like voluntarily eating just a single apple a day, and they built a genuine community. When their designated chef tapped out, others just stepped right up to chop carrots and manage those meager rations. That shared suffering created a powerful unity. Meanwhile, over on the expert side, it's kind of a bitter irony. They struggled not with the woods, but with their own egos. One participant hit the nail on the head saying, "You have 50 survivalists, aka control freaks, all trying to be in charge." Friction was just inevitable. They clashed over the most trivial things, refused to listen to one another, and some even went so far as to hide a secret stash of potatoes to hoard for themselves. That complete inability to trust each other actually caused multiple self-eliminations. Section 5. The Psychological Stress Tests, Engineering breaking points.
50. That is the exact number of canned goods dropped into each starving camp. Just picture this. Imagine the absolute torture of dangling 50 cans of beef, peas, and corn right in front of people who are so hungry they're literally contemplating eating toothpaste. And the rule? Whichever team returns the most unopened cans after 72 hours wins a major reward. If they tie, neither side gets a thing.
Can you even imagine the temptation? It's excruciating. Both teams knew that opening just one can could cost them the whole reward. So the blue team's strategy was to literally bury the cans underground so no one could sneak a bite in the middle of the night. The red team did something similar, hiding their stash and only giving a select few access. And despite the intense physical pain of starving, this extreme group discipline somehow took over. Miraculously, both teams returned exactly 50 unopened cans, a perfect tie, which meant absolutely zero reward for either side. The psychological fallout of that? A total gut punch. I mean, the sheer devastation of enduring 72 hours of agonizing temptation, expecting this massive reward, and then getting absolutely nothing? It was just too much. The second the result was announced, 3 amateurs instantly lit their flares and tapped out. Their morale was utterly shattered. And that perfectly sets up day 14. This was a ruthless display of game theory. Identical boxes are placed in front of both teams. If one team takes the item, the other gets nothing. But if both teams reject the box, both teams get everything. They had to sit there, starving, staring down cast iron pots and peanut butter cups, and yet both teams are violently yelling at their own teammates to reject the items, all just to ensure the other side didn't gain a sudden advantage. It's wild to see how quickly it becomes a mental game. So, it all leaves us with this final thought. When the wilderness strips away your comfort, your food, and your energy, what is it that truly keeps you in the game? Is it knowing the exact steps to build a waterproof debris shelter? Or is it the ability to suppress your ego, share a single apple, and deeply trust the person sitting next to you? The data from this experiment strongly suggests that while expertise will definitely keep you warm, it's a cohesive community that actually keeps you from lighting that flare. So, what would your strategy be?